Mikayil Mushfig was an Azerbaijani poet of the 1930s. Most of his poetry is about romance, nature, feelings. Despite this, he soon became one of the slandered and criticized poets in the Union of Azerbaijani Writers. Soon afterwards, Mushfig was arrested and executed by Soviet authorities at the age of 30 during the Stalinist purges in the USSR. In 1956, he was exonerated posthumously. Nikita Khrushchev's era of de-Stalinization has resulted in Mushfig's poetry being famous in Azerbaijani society. Life and poetry. Mikayil Mushfig was born in the city of Baku Governorate in 1908. He received his elementary education at Russian-language school in Baku. After the establishment of the Soviet regime in Azerbaijan in 1920, he studied at Baku Teachers' School, and in 1931, he graduated from the Department of Language and Literature of the Baku State University. Mikayil started his professional career as a school teacher. While being involved in teaching, he started writing poems. His first poem, Burgun, was published in the Ganjfala newspaper in Baku in 1926. At about this time, he adopted the pen name Mushfig. Along with Samad Virgan and Rasulazadeh, Mikayil Mushfig became one of the founders of New Azerbaijani Soviet poetic style in 1930s. He translated a number of poems from Russian as well. In his poetry, Mushfig glorified the work of industrial workers and peasants and lauded the construction of industrial enterprises in Baku and other cities. According to Mushfig's wife, Dilbar Akhundzada, Mikayil welcomed the transition from the Perso-Arabic script to the Latin script that took place in Azerbaijan in 1927. His excitement was expressed in the following verse: "And at parting, my soul wants to tell you, goodbye. Your last day has come, wretched old alphabet." Quote, when Stalin and Mir Jafar Bagirov decreed that traditional Azerbaijani musical instruments, including the tar, were to be banned, Mushfig wrote a poem in response titled "Sing Tar, Sing." The popularity of his poem with the public convinced the authorities to rescind the tar ban. Her arrest and execution, in late 1930s, has been confessed by writer Mehdi Hüseyin in one of the Ilyas Afandiyev's memoirs. It was very common among poets and writers to slander each other and accuse each other of nationalism or spreading religious propaganda. The reasons of such slanders were generally connected with personal problems and bitter rivalries between certain poets and writers. Mushfig also came under the barrage of criticism in the Azerbaijani Writers' Union along with some other literary figures of the era such as Hüseyin, Javad or Ahmed Javad, by some of the literary figures who were serving the interests of Stalin's regime in the USSR branded Mushfig as a chauvinist and a petty bourgeois poet. He was arrested in 1937, charged with treason as the enemy of the state, and executed in 1939 in the Bai-Il prison near Baku. He was later officially exonerated. Even though Mushfig wrote poems about Joseph Stalin during the Stalinization policy of the USSR, he was portrayed as an anti-Stalinist poet. Published works: Kulikula, 1930. Garnon Sesleri, 1932. Collection of Poems, 1934. Selected Works, 1960. Dui Guyar Paklari, 1966. Poems, 1968 and 1973. Yen Obagolady, 1976. Debiat Negmizi, 1978. Songs to Mikayil Mushfig's poems. Kulikula performed by Ubyag Ubov on YouTube. Yen Obagolady performed by Ubyag Ubov on YouTube. Anna performed by Ubyag Ubov on YouTube.